I'm not a medical doctor, PhD, and my interest is social work. And the first thing is to congratulate the schools which have been able to make it here, plus the students. Thank you for coming. Secondly, I was asked to talk about a school climate which helps to protect, which helps to keep students safe and healthy. How does it look like? And how do student leaders enhance, promote, help to create a school climate where every student feels is part of the school and want to perform and want to excel and want to be the best? In other words, you as student leaders, you've been given a task to be positive influencers, positively influencing your college so that they are part of that school climate which will make everything look good, which will keep away other students from drugs. By the way, many of you, when we come to talk to you, we don't say drug abuse. Because when we use drug abuse, it implies some of you are already touching and testing. And I know many of you are not touching, isn't it? So we remove the word DR and remain with the word use, drug use. And on that matter, I want you to clap for yourselves. Now, the concern and the interest of teachers and students are two: drug use within the school. Remember, I'm discussing the climate, the environment. I'm discussing what we would call Mbera. Drug use within the school. But the other concern, the other area of interest for teachers and also student leaders is drug use after what? After school. Away from school. Those are very key areas. Now, if you are going to look at drug use within the school, you students, student leaders, together with the teachers, this work should not be left to you alone. There are other people who should be involved. The non-teaching staff. After here, the teacher should organize a workshop. How non-teaching staff also are key and partial in the prevention effort to prevent drug use. Are we together? Are you following? I know that word, you hear it many times. Are you following? Are you hearing? Non-teaching staff, parents, the policy makers are already here. Now, the school climate is very key because what is of concern to us is that in a school context, by the way, we are not going to find many students using, but we are going to find a small clique, a small group which are using drugs and who are trying to promote drug use. And that should be our target. Probably those have gone off the what? Off the track. But many students would like really to keep away from drugs. They want to be healthy. They want to keep safe. And we are happy that many of you are coming here, that the message you are going to take back is to help the students excel, keep healthy, keep away from drugs, keep away from problems. By the way, teachers and student leaders, take note. When you talk about a lot about marijuana, cannabis, heroin, hard drugs like alcohol and tobacco, sometimes the students keep away from them. And they go into what we call synthetic drugs. And this also should be of interest to you. Synthetic drugs. Dr. Basango has already shared about it. Synthetic drugs are now replacing the use of narcotic drugs which worry us. Synthetic drugs like some of these prescription drugs. You have to be very key. Don't only search for alcohol, for njaga. Pick a lot of interest in the tablets they are taking. Because those synthetic drugs are trying to mimic are trying to replace, are trying to substitute, and give you the desired effect as the narcotic what? In other words, today, we are expanding our horizon. We are not only going to think that we are talking about marijuana, cocaine, tobacco. I'm telling you there are other drugs which the doctor has talked about. And this is of concern. People get high. People are able to reduce their pain. People change and the circumstance change. You trace drugs, you cannot see them. But we are letting you know that also sometimes those can be fatal. I don't know whether Dr. Brian, you have already shared. Those can be very fatal drugs. And this should concern you. People get high, people get addicted, and people get problems. Now, what is the school climate look about? I captured a few things. I captured a few things which I feel are very important for you students, student leaders to take note of. Now, the school climate, like one of the young girl from, was it Nabisunsa or somewhere, she said that the school should provide a caring, encouraging environment. We are not training you student leaders to be policemen. We are training you to be caring and supporting. Don't be like a policeman. Policemen not here but outside. Now, we want you to provide an encouraging environment. Schools, tell your colleagues to be following the rules and the consequences of breaking them. Tell your colleagues to care about the school and the school performance, because any failure when you don't perform well in class because you are using drugs, it really devastates the teachers. The teachers get devastated because they give you everything. But when you bring in drugs, you get diverted. You get problems. You cannot function. Your mental state gets affected, and that can be very discouraging. So we are telling you that's very important. You keep safe. You keep actively engaged. You keep actively engaged. But also what is important is that teachers and student leaders continue to challenge beliefs. Sometimes students can discuss beliefs which are positively encouraging the use of drugs. But you as leaders who have got the information, people have shared with you, challenge those negative beliefs, beliefs which promote drug abuse in a friendly way, in a caring way. And teach students not to touch. By the way, it is easier to say no. Young people, leaders, it is easier to say no than saying that after some time I'm going to stop, let me try. Do not try. Do not believe you'll stop. Once you get addicted, like you've been taught the science of addiction, you cannot give up. It's very difficult. We've seen young people who have been rounded up at certain schools and brought to us, literally crying, working with them to overcome addiction. Addiction is very expensive. That's why you are going to tell your students, do not touch. It's better not to touch than thinking that I'll be able to overcome. That's why you must create a climate where you say no drugs, where you challenge the beliefs. Long thinking. Because you are going to hear your friends discussing. Then you have to challenge them. Then I'm also noting here that allows your colleagues to disconnect. There are going to be groups which promote wild behavior. Please, as leaders, promote, disconnect yourselves, but also encourage other colleagues to disconnect. That is very what? That is very important. Features or characteristics of behavior to do with bullying, to do with teasing, to do with gangs, sometimes can promote that. Please dismantle all that type of what? All that type of behavior, because normally they'll end up using what? They'll end up using drugs. Also, we are looking at teachers. Teachers, I know your cardinal duty is to promote, to teach, so that students perform. But also, we want to encourage you, the non-teaching staff, to pick interest in other things outside teaching, so that you are able to understand more, you are able to listen, you are able to support, and you are able to give what? To give more support. As I conclude, help create a climate where every student wants to excel. Even those in day schools create an environment students want to excel, want to compete, want to perform, want to bring the best grades at home. And you as a parent, like me, I'm a parent, my son scored 18 points. I was so happy. You young people, let me tell you. You don't know how a parent, how joy as a parent will be when you score the best. The parent, even if is a very high-ranking government official, you are brought back that so-and-so has been caught using drug abuse, the man will be devastated. The parent will be devastated. He will not concentrate. I've seen parents who have come to me and I said, I don't understand what is wrong with my son. What is this? Even the school get devastated to see a highly performing student, a student who is performing so well. And after some time, the younger man is declining. The younger man is declining. They are beginning to investigate. They call you at school and say, let's discuss your student performance. We don't understand. But at time X, at point X, they zero down and they find you have been using drugs. And the drugs have affected you. Do not touch because your brains are not ready. By the way, your brains are not ready. That's why they are telling you, don't touch here, don't touch this, don't do this, don't do this. They want you to reach age 21, age 22. That's when you can make a mature decision. That's why your parents are so protective. Because they know your emotions, your ability to decide is not yet ready. That's why you must not touch. Keep safe, keep healthy. And hopefully in time when we work with Anne, Apana, invite us so that we can talk separately to teachers, separately to children, because some of the content here is too general. Sometimes it needs to be focused. It is my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, and happy to see young people. Promise me one thing, that I'm going to keep what? Heresy. Sure. And I'm going to keep safe. Can you write it down? Keep safe and keep heresy. Keep safe and heresy. That's why I'm able, by the way. I tried to drink, the thing was suffocating me, I ran away. I don't drink. I don't touch. I don't smoke. I tried to smoke. This was terrible. It was terrible. Keep safe and keep healthy. Don't touch that thing. When you see some tablets going around, let the teacher know slowly. Slowly, in a better way. Thank you so much.